The jungle was alive, not with the familiar calls of birds or the rustling of leaves, but with an eerie, unsettling silence. The kind of silence that pressed against your eardrums, making every heartbeat sound like a drum. Jake had always been an adventurous soul, but even he couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. As he ventured deeper into the dense foliage, the air grew thicker, almost suffocating. Shadows seemed to move just out of sight, and the trees, ancient and twisted, appeared to watch his every move with malevolent intent. It all started with a simple dare. A local legend spoke of an ancient temple hidden deep within the heart of the jungle, a place where no one who ventured ever returned. Jake, ever the skeptic and thrill-seeker, took the challenge head-on. Armed with a flashlight, a map, and his unwavering determination, he set off into the unknown. The first few hours were uneventful, almost serene. The sunlight barely penetrated the dense canopy, casting an eternal twilight over the jungle floor. As the day wore on, the path became less clear, and the undergrowth more impenetrable. It was then that Jake noticed the silence. No birds, no insects, nothing. Just the oppressive quiet, as if the jungle itself was holding its breath. Suddenly, a twig snapped behind him. Jake spun around, his flashlight beam slicing through the darkness. There was nothing there, just the impenetrable wall of trees. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest, his breath coming in shallow gasps. He shook his head, trying to dispel the growing sense of dread. It was just his imagination, he told himself. Pressing on, Jake found himself drawn to a clearing illuminated by an otherworldly glow. In the center stood the temple, its stone walls covered in ancient, undecipherable glyphs. The air around it seemed to hum with energy, a low, almost imperceptible vibration that set his teeth on edge. As he approached the temple, the ground beneath him seemed to shift and writhe, as if the jungle itself was trying to swallow him whole. With every step, the sense of unease grew stronger, the feeling that he was being watched, hunted by something unseen. Jake, if you have watched this video, then like and subscribe so that you will get notification of this horror video. Reached the entrance, a gaping maw of darkness that seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. Taking a deep breath, he stepped inside. The temperature plummeted, and the air grew thick with the scent of decay. His flashlight flickered and died, plunging him into darkness. Panic surged through him, but he fought it back, relying on his instincts to guide him. He stumbled through the pitch-black corridors, his hands brushing against cold, damp stone. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of his own ragged breathing. Every now and then, he could hear whispers, faint and indistinct, like the murmurs of the dead. Jake's mind raced with thoughts of the legends he had dismissed so easily. Stories of spirits, of ancient curses, of a darkness that consumed all who dared to enter. He had laughed them off, but now, in the bowels of the temple, he began to understand the truth. This place was alive, and it was hungry. He reached what felt like a chamber, the air colder and heavier than ever. A faint light emanated from the far end, and Jake made his way towards it. As he got closer, he realized the light was coming from a pedestal, atop which sat a grotesque idol, its eyes glittering with an unnatural, malevolent light. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, filling his mind with a cacophony of voices. Jake felt a pressure building in his skull, a searing pain that made him drop to his knees. He clutched his head, trying to block out the noise, but it was relentless. The darkness pressed in around him, and he could feel the presence of something ancient and evil, watching him, waiting for him to succumb. In his final moments of lucidity, Jake understood the true nature of the jungle. It was a living, breathing entity, a place of darkness and malevolence that fed on the souls of the unwary. The temple was its heart, a beacon that lured the curious and the brave to their doom. As the darkness claimed him, Jake's last thought was a prayer that no one else would ever find this place, that the jungle would remain undisturbed, its secrets buried forever. But deep down, he knew the jungle would never let them go. It was always hungry, always waiting for the next soul to wander into its grasp. If you want to see related video, click on this video.